On Google, it looks on Google.
Yeah, we doing okay? Done that today,
It's hot.
but I didn't.
We are live.
Okay, thank you, Ron.
Yeah, it's not, I want to walk. Painting on the deck.
You know, that's how we go to the, thanks.
I could only do it for.
Yeah, you gotta get up at
Rip,
6 AM to start.
I know you're in bad shape. It's the Embry's don't just come to the
All
meeting.
that's been ready to.
That is true.
Yeah, perfect.
They're faithful.
Yeah.
They're ever faithful. Maybe they're watching us on TV.
So you know what? We all match except for June. It's just was June. So I can't, that's why I can't get too bad. They just made a mistake. Everybody makes mistakes. But I was like,
People make mistakes.
Hey, Doug, I got a new lies at rest.
I've heard of Sigma.
Liza says
69.
rest.
Way back.
3.4 D.
We're broadcasting.
Never mind.
It's 6 sigma.
We'll talk
First
after.
thing is pretty good. It's like 99.9.
I thought I better warn you.
Pretty good.
That's, yeah, just 1 out of 12.
Maybe your voice is somewhere.
Yeah, I guess it's one thing to write a book and another to put it on the elephant.
John, how long have you been working on that book?
I worked for about,
years.
no,
It's
The theaters.
I worked on it for about a month. And then I worked on Ron for about a year.
You stay for the home.
Yeah.
Get him going. But seriously, he did a great job. Those photographs, 90% of them at least, Ron
Nephew.
got those and put them in. I didn't do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I put in photographs, Tom Fowler, Beach Drag Mile, and a few others, but Ron did 90% of
Ron said
photographs.
we didn't find a photograph of Mary Callan.
We could not. And damn, I knew I had one, and I went through every photograph I had, and I couldn't find it. I had a photograph of Don and Viola sitting on the sofa in their home. I couldn't find it.
Okay. All right, good evening, everyone. Good afternoon. Today is Monday, June 23rd, 2025. The time is 5:30 PM. This is a special meeting of the Prospect Kentucky City Council. I'm Doug Farnsley. I am the mayor of Prospect, and I call this meeting to order. The first item on the agenda is comments from citizens. There's no citizens present in the council room, so I assume nobody signed up to make comments. The next item on the agenda is my report. So for my mayor's report this evening, I will make 6 brief announcements and will share 2 letters of thanks that the city received. I will then talk briefly about taxes in Prospect and about the budget that is before the council this evening for a second reading. First, the announcements. The city has published John Evans' History of the City of Prospect. John's book is well-written, informative, and at times humorous. The books are available to all residents at no charge. Copies may be picked up at the front desk in City Hall. Turning now to the Prospect Post Office. In approximately 6 months, our post office will be moving to its new location across US 42 from City Hall. On Friday, the Postal Service announced that a temporary building for the post office would be placed in the parking lot at Prospect Point or in the parking lot adjacent to the new location. I learned today that that announcement may not be the post office's final word about a temporary location. I will be on a call tomorrow with the developer for the purchaser of Prospect Point Shopping Center and with the head of facilities for the post office. And I will keep you posted about the planned temporary post office location. Next, I will note, as I previously advised the council, that the Secretary of the Kentucky Transportation Cabinet has ordered that the speed limit on US 42 from the Harris Creek Bridge to River Road be lowered to 35 miles per hour. The change will be effective as soon as the cabinet installs new signs, which we anticipate will be on July 1. The change comes about in response to a resolution adopted by the council and a request made by the city. The Art in City Hall Summer Pop Exhibition will continue through August 22. We welcome visitors during regular City Hall hours. 10 artists are exhibiting works, including paintings and sculptures and clay and mixed media. On a separate topic, on Friday, June 20th, the Architectural Review Committee met with Michael Jones regarding proposed changes to the facades of the buildings in his 3 centers. The center that includes Starbucks and Highland Cleaners, the center that included the Simon Apothecary, the new site for the post office, and the center that includes the UPS store. Mr. Jones' application to Metro Louisville appears to be on track for approval. The Architectural Review Committee approved the design for improvements to the facades. If that issue comes before the council, it will do so with unanimous approval of the Architectural Review Committee. For the final comment in the announcements portion of these remarks, I note that on Friday, July 4, we will hold our traditional 4th of July parade, celebration, and fireworks show. I look forward to seeing everyone at Cowley Park. I also want to mention 2 thoughtful letters that the city received. Recently, a resident wrote a letter commending Sergeant Jim Cirillo of our police department. Resident sent the letter to Chief Denham with a copy to me and wrote as follows. At 3:30 a.m., that's 3:30 in the morning, I received a phone call from Officer Cirillo. He was performing a home check at our daughter and son-in-law's home on Tallwood Road. The garage door was opened, and after Sergeant Cirillo, after walking around the house, Sergeant Cirillo, and finding no one there or any other issues, Sergeant Cirillo called me to say he could not find the button to close the door. My wife and I immediately dressed and went to the house, confirmed that there was no apparent entry, closed the door, and notified Sergeant Cirillo. I'm writing this to commend Sergeant Cirillo for his concern and his attention to our family's possible loss of property or worse, and his politeness when calling me. As I told him, we are very fortunate to have men and women like him protecting us. Thank you and your staff for making Prospect a safe, healthy home. Prospect Police are the best. Sincerely, Bob Nesman. So that was a very, very nice letter. Second letter we received was written by Leonid Madorsky, the director of Louisville's Russian School of Mathematics. Mr. Madorsky wrote, Dear City of Prospect, on behalf of the Russian School of Mathematics, I would like to extend our heartfelt thanks for allowing us to host our end of school year celebration at the Prospect City Hall Pavilion and Playground. The space is absolutely beautiful, thoughtfully landscaped and spotlessly clean, and wonderfully maintained. The playground was a huge hit with our students, and the pavilion provided the perfect setting for our gathering. We truly appreciate the City of Prospect for supporting a local educational program and for maintaining such a welcoming and family-friendly space. We hope to have the opportunity to celebrate with you again in the future. With sincere gratitude, Leonid Madorsky. Next, in follow-up to the discussion at last Monday's council meeting, I will talk about the taxes we collect from our residents. And we'll talk specifically about the question of whether our taxes have gone up in the past 4 years. 1 week ago, we approved a new rate for real property taxes, 18.3 cents per $100 of valuation. 4 years ago, for the 2021-2022 fiscal year, the council established a rate of 21.5 cents per $100. Thus, the new rate we adopted for 2025-2026 is 3 cents lower than the rate the council approved 4 years ago. In the coming fiscal year, the 7 of us seated on the dais who serve as council members and mayor will pay on average $38 less in property taxes than we paid in the 2021-2022 fiscal year. So the rate is lower by 3 cents per $100 than it was 4 years ago. Further, on average, the 7 of us pay the city $38 less than each of us paid 4 years ago. Whether we consider the rate we pay or the dollars we pay, our property taxes have not gone up, they have gone down. The other major source of revenue for the City of Prospect is the insurance premium tax. In 2019, the Prospect City Council set that tax rate at 7%, and subsequent councils kept the 7% rate in place. In the past 4 years, the value of our homes have gone up substantially. As the value of our homes have increased, the amount of insurance we need has also gone up. For that and other reasons in the insurance market, the revenues that the city receives in insurance premium taxes have increased. To be clear, Prospect's property tax rate has gone down, and since at least 2019, our insurance premium tax rate has remained the same. The city of Prospect has not increased anyone's property or insurance premium taxes. In addition to approving the new tax rate at last Monday's meeting, the council gave the proposed budget a first reading. Tonight's agenda includes a second reading and approval of the new budget. Notably, the proposed budget includes an increase in the salary we pay our police chief and our assistant chief. Our chief and assistant chief receive the lowest salaries of their counterparts in nearby cities. Our true peer city on the list is Indian Hills, which currently pays its chief $108,500. We pay our chief $99,500. If we assume that Indian Hills will increase its chief's salary by 3% in the coming fiscal year, they will be paying him $111,800. The proposed salary for our chief is $104,800. Thus, we currently pay our chief $9,000 less than his counterpart in Indian Hills. If the council approves the proposed budget, we will paying our chief $7,000 less. The same analysis applies to the current and proposed salaries for the assistant chief in Indian Hills and our assistant chief. Given the superb job our chief and assistant chief do in the comparison of their salaries to their peers, I view the proposed salaries as being fair. Our residents' number one concern is public safety. Jeff Sherrard and Tony Denham have built a superb police department, and we and our fellow citizens benefit from that. I know our council is committed to public safety, and I encourage the council to adopt the proposed budget. That concludes my report. Next item on the agenda is unfinished business. And the first item there is the second reading of ordinance 654. That's the ordinance establishing the budget for the general fund, municipal road aid, and capital project funds. Is there a motion to give that ordinance a second reading?
So moved.
Second.
Mayor Evans made the motion and Mr. Holmes seconded the motion to give the second reading to ordinance 654. Is there discussion?
Yes. I propose amending the budget by returning to the 4925 original worksheet, 3% effect on payroll, and not purchasing the police vehicle. That would reduce the cost. About $130,000 would be applied to the capital budget. Give me a little leeway here, and I'll try to talk a little more about the rationale. At last Thursday's Smithfield Green HOA meeting, a resident named Sally expressed concern about unknown people knocking on her door, wanting access to the patio and roof. And that turned out to be a contractor that the resident manager had asked to come out to check something. We need to do a better job communication. While there, she pointed out that 8 of our 28 units were owned by widows in their 70s who have safety concerns. In passing, Sally mentioned she no longer used her gate for the short walk to Kroger because she was uncomfortable with some of the activity behind the shopping center. I told her we would communicate that to the city hall. She said she had done that at a mayor's coffee, but since then and realized now it fell on deaf ears, in her words. There are senior people like Sally throughout our city. While campaigning, many expressed safety concerns, specifically about US 42 in our shopping areas where safe access to Kroger's is near and dear to their hearts. Chief Denham and the mayor, we've discussed these concerns many times. The police presence are sparse in our shopping centers in US 42 during business hours. Yet we checked 26,000 empty houses last year, 11,000 this year. We do need some house checks, but have asked repeatedly, we reduce the house checks and give our citizens a strong, visible police patrol presence in our shopping centers, neighborhoods, and US 42. Numerous requests have gone ignored. Council asking you to support our senior citizen safety concern by approving the amendment.
Okay, a motion's been made to amend the budget as presented. And John, repeat for me if you would. I think there are two parts to it. To change the proposed salary increases.
Yes, it would go back to 4.9, said about a 3% salary increase, which is like 60,000 less than the current budget. And the other is a new police vehicle, and I think that was 70,000.
So the 3% is that would be for part-time officers, because we were,
It was a 3% effect on payroll. It said that, let's see, I think I have it here someplace, the details. It was 3% for most everybody.
okay, so the proposed budget has got an increase for the part-time officers to match the hourly rate of the full-time officers. And you want to change that to 3%?
Yes,
Okay.
well, it's whatever.
I'm not arguing with you, I'm just asking.
I'm using it was, let's see, it's actually 2.95%. And it had the mayor at 2.9% and everybody else at 3%. I have this.
Okay, and I think most of them are still 3%. I think what the ones that aren't, I believe, are the part-time officers.
No, it
And
was, according to that, it's 3% for everyone. And it has an effect on payroll. It has it there at the bottom of like 39,000 versus the proposed amendment is something like 90 something.
okay, so 3%, and that's 3% also then for the chief and the assistant chief.
Yes.
Okay, so that's, and then no funds to purchase a new police vehicle.
Right. The logic there, we've got 12 officers and I think we have 12 police vehicles. We may now only have one. One is one was damaged in on collision, as I recall. I don't know if that's in the repair shop or damaged.
Okay, is there a second to the motion to amend the proposed budget?
Then we have further discussion.
No. We're not gonna have any of this.
I'll move.
Okay, so we've got a motion and Sandra Leonard has seconded the motion. Is there further discussion?
Is there further discussion specifically about the budget or just
No.
the amendment?
The discussion now is on the motion to amend the budget. So any discussion about the amendment to the budget would be.
I apologize. Well, in a way, I can rephrase it. I think our police do a great job. I am keenly aware, because I'm an old woman too, and I'm keenly aware of the fact that safety is a primary concern of all of our residents. But I also am keenly conservative fiscally, and when I took a look at some of the salaries of other safety organizations, the cities that are on either side of us in Jefferson County are Douglas Hills, Firstborn, and Indian Hills. I will certainly agree that Indian Hills, what they're paying, I called and asked them, I said, why do you pay so much to your police chief? The answer was, pretty honest, said he's been here forever. And in addition to doing just Indian Hills, he's also doing other portions. And I found this not to be uncommon, that nobody tends to do just their city, except some of the bigger cities. When I get into the little cities, it is apples and oranges. A classic example of this would be Linden. If we take a look at Linden, what Linden is doing is providing police services to a number of other cities. Two of them are Douglas Hills and Firstborn. And the interesting thing about that is the amount that they're charging them is very close or below $100,000 a year. So if we're paying, for example, 1.25 million for our police services, other cities that are the same size as us are paying significantly less than that. They're paying around $100,000 a year. I wouldn't advocate for doing anything that would ruin our police force, but I do think that we have to be fiscally prudent. And when we're paying 10 times as much for a service as similar cities, I think that we need to take and incorporate that into our thought process.
Okay, is there further discussion on the motion to amend?
But just one other thing, the data you sent, Mr. Mayor, showed the Linden Police Chief was making 106,000. And I think he is a former acting Metro Chief Police. I think he's got 27 officers, 2 detectives. I think he does police work as far north as Greensboro and all the way to I-64. He's got a huge area.
Well, he said he does 8
Hold on,
states.
hold on. Mr. Gibson's got the floor.
And all I'm saying is I understand the comparison to Indian Hills, but 106,000 with a much larger span of control and a much larger area to cover.
Is there further discussion on the motion to amend the proposed budget? Okay, in the absence of further discussion, are we ready to vote? So the motion to amend, Ms. Leonard?
Yes.
John Clark?
No.
David Holmes?
No.
Mayor Evans?
No.
Doug
Yes.
Gibson? And Dr. Furman?
No.
All right, so the motion to amend is defeated by a vote of 4-2. The discussion now returns to the discussion on the motion to give a second reading to the proposed budget. Is there further discussion on the main motion, the motion to amend, to adopt the proposed budget? If not, ready to vote, Dr. Furman,
Yes.
Mr. Gibson,
No,
Mayor Evans,
Yes.
Mr. Holmes.
Yes.
Mr. Clark.
Yes.
And Mrs. Leonard.
No.
All right, so that the proposed budget is adopted, a vote of 4-2. And Mayor Evans, could I ask you to give the budget the second reading?
Ordinance 654, Series 2025. An ordinance establishing the budget for the general fund, municipal road aid, and capital project fund of the city of Prospect for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2025 and ending June 30, 2026.
Okay, thank you. So the next item on the agenda is a item of new business, and that's the first reading of ordinance 655, series 2025, an ordinance enacting and adopting the 2024 supplement to the Code of Ordinances of the City of Prospect. John, could you explain briefly what this is?
So after we pass ordinances here, those ordinances are submitted to American Legal Foundation and they codify it into our big book of ordinances. So this is adopting their codification to be added to your code of ordinances.
Okay. Is there a motion to give a first reading to this ordinance?
So moved.
Dr. Furman made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Is there discussion?
This requires an ordinance be passed to codify. It does. Okay. Well, maybe we could do it with a resolution.
We do it every time this time of year.
And where is this book? Is there a book published of all these ordinances?
There is. If you don't have one, I probably have one.
Okay, I just-
It's online.
It's online and if you're,
It's easier to have the book though.
Yeah.
that's a matter of debate, I would prefer online.
The online has been getting better. They've done it for years. And the online is getting so you can do different word searches now. And the book is this thick. So if they want to give you one, take it, but realize you may not use it.
Yeah.
Okay, is there, Dr. Furman's made the motion, Mrs. Leonard has seconded it. Is there discussion on the proposed ordinance? In the absence of discussion, we'll proceed to a vote. Dr. Furman
Yes.
and Mr. Gibson,
yes,
Mayor Evans,
Yes.
Mr. Holmes.
Yes.
Mr. Clark.
Yes.
Mrs. Leonard.
Yes.
Okay, so that ordinance received a first reading by unanimous vote. And Dr. Furman, I'll ask if you'll read the title of ordinance 655, series 2025.
Okay, so ordinance 655, series 2025, an ordinance enacting and adopting the 2024 supplement to the Code of Ordinances of the City of Prospect. Is that all? Yeah.
Thank you. So that's the last item on the agenda. Is there any further business before the council? We've got a citizen who showed up. Did you have any questions or anything you want to offer?
Well, I'm really here to do some voting for like Carla Riverman, which is, but I guess I have a quick question. I'm curious if my home is impacted by the slide, and I'm just curious like how that interacts with the council given that direction for the county.
We haven't had anything really to do with that. I've talked with one of the homeowners who's affected and had a good talk with him. But we've not been involved in those discussions or no official role in that, I guess is the best way to say it. But we appreciate you being here. Thank you for coming. Okay, well, with that, is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
Second. All in favor, please say aye. Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you. And
Party.
Some good points.
Hang on, those I got.
Nice surprise.
Research, that's good. It's just bad that, people aren't feeling safe right about the program.